Hey Trine, how are you? Hey, glad you checked out this video. I'm super excited to be reaching out. You're probably wondering who is this guy that's reaching out randomly and sending me a video. But basically, I work one-on-one with B2B SaaS companies to help them to drive more pipeline using organic traffic. And specifically, why I reached out to you and why I reached out to Xait is, kind of looking around at a few items I'm going to talk about in a second. Um, is normally what I'm looking for when I do reach out to a particular company, right? Those two things are, do we have a solid link profile in place regarding backlinks, number one? And number two, are there a lot of opportunities when we kind of flip the marketing funnel upside down and start to look at, well, what's going on at the bottom of the funnel, right? And I'm going to get into those here in 2 seconds. I just want to give some quick context to why I'm reaching out. But yeah, I guess diving in here just to show you specifically what I mean. So I've dug around quite a bit in the proposal industry and proposal software industry and RFPs, and like taking a look at what I just said from looking at the bottom of the funnel. Well, why the bottom of the funnel? Because we know that's where the high intent conversions happen, right? And when I say that, I'm typically referring to taking a look at use cases pages, features and benefits, alternative pages, competitor comparison pages, even industry pages. And when I take a look at Xait specifically, what I noticed is that, from the header navigation itself, if I was just to look at starting with either software, right, where we have the different products that Xait provides, proposal, RFI, et cetera, but also industries, right? When I look at this, I notice number one, none of these are actually ranking organically for any particular terms due to the structure of the page. Right? So, for example, if I take a look at industries, so somebody that might be searching for healthcare proposal software, right? This page is actually not mapped back from an organic perspective to actually be able to drive rankings. And we can get into the best practice around conversion and all of that as well. But I think as a starting point, well, we know for a fact if we're able to take our bottom funnel pages again, use cases, features and benefits, industry pages, but even integrations, competitor comparison, alternative pages, if we're able to actually use and leverage those to get those ranking organically, right? We can use those to drive demos and signups and to scale MRR using that, right? I think a really good example of this, what I'm trying to explain here is, I think Proposify, from doing some, uh, you know, looking around on their website and the search results a bit, like they do a very good job at this. Where, for example, they have use cases, features, and benefits of the product map back, also industry pages, right? So they have the industries that they are targeting and serve, right? So, for example, healthcare and medical, where they're targeting healthcare medical proposal, right? So they rank well for that, right? Or construction proposal software, right? As you go down, like hospitality event proposal software. So they're mapping these pages back against search queries, which is able to essentially drive them rankings and get that first initial touch with those users. So um, looking at what Xait's doing now, the majority of the traffic is coming a bit from branded search and also from the blog content, like the top funnel stuff, which I think is fine. But there's so much that could be leveraged, right? And again, I'll go back to use Proposify for this example. Like what they do, I think, very good at the middle of the funnel is, additional to that, they have this template section, right? Proposal templates. And this section alone of the website, where users can actually download a template for a specific purpose, right? So accounting proposal, AdWords and PPC proposal template. This is extremely powerful because they're collecting user information here, and they have this map back, and it's ranking very well organically, right? This section of the website, these proposal examples they have public, right, is driving them roughly 20K per month. And that is extremely targeted in terms of, having actually an interactive product demo, right? Okay, well, here's our specific template for this industry. Users can actually see, feel, partially use it, right? And that is, I think there's an immense opportunity here in the proposal space for doing something similar. So yeah, this is I think a huge example. It's something that Xait could also be leveraging for some of the different industries, different proposal types. Again, I know they're not all the same as Proposify, but that to me is also a huge starting point, right? So looking at the bottom and mid funnel of the marketing funnel, to focus on those quicker wins, right? Because when we think about top and how to narrative, and that content's all super important, don't get me wrong, but right? If we try to flip it upside down and think, well, what are the quicker wins for where we're currently at, right? Those are them, right? Those are them from an organic perspective. And this is the exact thing I work with, dozens of B2B SaaS organizations on as well. How do we actually implement that? What is the strategy behind it? The structure, internal linking, what additional content can we use to promote that? How do we leverage existing links, right? That's really bringing that all together and getting that to really drive measurable, meaningful KPIs, right? So not just traffic. We don't care about traffic, but are we driving qualified individuals to book a demo for the software? Last thing I'll say on the bottom conversion side of things is I think another powerful thing as well that a lot of the competitors are doing, well, not a lot, but I see a few. For example, better proposals. What I did here is I'm using an alternative query. So a current user of Xait that's looking for an alternative, right? Or that could be for Proposify alternatives or better proposals or whoever some of those direct competitors are, right? When this query happens, we know that the user is most likely looking to switch from their current solution or they're thinking about other solutions potentially. Extremely, extremely powerful, right? And this is exactly what Better Proposals has done for a lot of their competitors, not only to focus on somebody that's looking to switch from their current platform, but also when somebody is looking for a comparison between two different solutions, right? So they're very close to making a decision, and what is a better way to get in front of them than to give our own objective review of what we do best versus the competition, right? And this is not, bashing the competition, and it's not only us, but it's to give a true comparison between the two, right? And these pages are super powerful because when we see G2, Capterra, et cetera, in many cases for authoritative domains, we can outrank them, right? And when somebody lands on G2 and they're searching for an alternative and the top 10 results, Xait is not even there, well, that's certainly hurting us, right? And then, again, this is a great example by Better Proposals. I think, there's a bit deeper in a few items I would change and add to this page, but just to give you an idea, to have these pages for your direct competitors, again, you can't get much closer to, grabbing some of those conversions and controlling the narrative and not letting your competitors control the narrative or G2, Capterra, Trust Radius, et cetera, right? So, yeah, I don't know if those are some things you maybe thought about before, maybe they're new, but if I was to look at this from an organic perspective and where Xait is currently positioned from a link profile and the content that you have and the pages that are set up, I think those three main things can be a huge, huge driver. And again, I'm not talking about something that takes, 2, 3, 4 quarters to see results from. But when we work with B2B SaaS companies, when I work with them closely and implement this and focus on this over 90 days, right, that gives us enough to really prove out, hey, we're doing something meaningful and we're driving demos from this and we're scaling this much, much faster from from the organic channel, right? So those are a few things that stood out to me. I'm happy to connect, share more ideas. I know I really harped there on the bottom and mid funnel. Didn't talk too much about top. I think it's also important. But yeah, again, looking at some of the search results, looking at Proposify and others, I think there is an absolute ton that could be done to be winning additional demos from Google, right? And that's 100% clear to me because I see others are doing that already, right? So anyway, Sean, I really appreciate you checking out the video. Would love to connect, would love to tell you a bit more, give you some more ideas, and yeah, let me know what you think. I appreciate you checking out the video, and yeah, have an excellent rest of your day. Thanks so much.